Edging closer to those all-important group stages, of course, now over in the Europa Conference League. But, of course, before all that, we have the third qualifying round, first legs coming at you. And I've got my predictions right around the corner. In fact, they're coming at you next. Folks, Bamble's giving another prediction video. Today we're taking a look at the Europa Conference League third qualifying phase, first legs, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new where you've been, smash your subscribe button back up to date with all things Europa Conference League related, Blabbing Rovers related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Ruski. Yeah, some bigger names slowly but surely entering the competition. Anderlecht, of course, coming out of Belgium. I think FC20, of course, out of the Dutchland. My boys, that's right, coming at you very, very soon. We'll take a look at those in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VRPs. They are the patrons, guys and girls. But anyway, before we get in the deep end, in fact, we're going to jump right in the deep end right about now. In fact, how am I doing these? I think I'm doing these like this. Yeah, that's about right. There we go. Let's get into it then, shall we? Take a look at the long list of second qualifying legs. So here we go. Make sure you subscribe, of course, if you're new. If you're not, if you are new, where the heck have you been? So here we go then. Take a little look at the results here coming at you. APL Nicosia. My pick was, of course, down the middle here. The real score is on the right, and then, of course, the aggregate score is on the left. So it's going to be a little bit all over the place. But APL Nicosia did beat Botev Plondiv 2-0 in the end. 1-0 for me, 2-0 on aggregate. They go through. Alias Salonika, I believe. Hopefully I've got this right. Alias Salonika coming at you, 3-0 in the end. That was my pick. Gurmel, of course, from Belarus, 2-1 loss there. 7-2 on aggregate. Salonika go through. AZ Alkmaar did beat Tuzla City. Those should be flipped around there because the aggregate scoreline was 5-0. So a big win for AZ Alkmaar. Brodon B, 2-1 win was my pick. 4-0 it was from Pogoń Szczecin coming out of Poland, I think. A big 5-1 win in the end for Brodon B. Monster win there. Young Boys Burn took on Lebacha. 3-0 it was. 3-0 was my pick. 4-0 aggregate. Crusaders, of course, did lose to Basel in the end. 3-1 loss on aggregate. 1-1 on the night. 3-1 for me as well. University Krakowa did beat FK Velaneza. 3-0. Of course, 2-0 for me. 4-1 they go through on aggregate. My boys, the AC Dunshunja Stranger, did beat Vikingur. 2-0 in the end. 3-0 for me. 4-0 aggregate they go through. Dynamo Batumé, of course, did lose to Lech Poznan on aggregate. 6-1 in the end. 1-1 on the night. 2-0 for me. Dynamo Minsk, Hapoel Belshava, of course, picked up the win there, of course, coming out of Israel, 1-0 win for them. 3-1 on aggregate, Belshava go through. Dush Gardens, big 2-0 win on the night over HNK Renjaka. I went with a 2-0 win myself, 4-1 it was on aggregate. Drita Girjan did lose to Royal Antwerp. We expected that 2-0 win in the end. I went with the 1-0 win for home side, don't know what I was thinking there. Meanwhile, FC Malsamai did lose to Cups there, 4-1 on the night, 6-3 on aggregate. They are out. Vaduz did draw with Cooper there, 2-1 it was, of course, on aggregate. They go through. Cooper go out. Levida drew with Hibernians on the night. 4-3, the Maltese side go through. Stoy Bucharest, big 4-2 wins over Sabutalo there. 2-0 for me. 4-3 on aggregate. They turned that bad boy around. Astana did lose to Krakova, of course, but that game was over on the first legs with a big 6-0 win in the end. Budapest Bergenoknia, big 2-1 win on the night over Bradovic, but they lost 3-2 on aggregate. They go out, tumbling out of the competition. On Kudakakai did beat Luxembourg comfortably 4-0 on the night, 8-1 aggregate. They go through. Gabala with a big 2-1 win over Fenerbahce, but they lost on aggregate 5-3. Hamrun Spartans beat Velez Mostar on the night, 2-0 for them. They go through. Elfsborg did lose to Molde, big Scandinavian derby there. Molde going through 2-1 for the night, 6-2 on aggregate. Interglubdis Ascaldes did lose overall to CFR Cluj, coming out of Romania there, 1-1 on the night though. A bit of a fighting spirit there. Balkani did beat SP La Florieta 6-0 in the end, 10-0 on aggregate. Absolutely crazy stuff. Lacci, I went with a win for them, but they lost against Petrika 4-1 in the end, 4-1 on aggregate. Petrika go through. Schenkenja 79 did beat Valmiera 3-1 on the night, 5-2 on aggregate. They are through. Klaksvík with a big 1-0 over Skutska, and that's just enough for them to go through. Meanwhile, Kariat lost on the night against Kisvárda, and Kisvárda go through 2-0 in the end. 2-1 it was for my pick. Meanwhile, BAT Borisov tumbled out as well against Konyaspor 5-0 on aggregate, 2-0 on the night. Legia Gdansk did lose to Rapid Vienna 2-1 on the night, 2-1 of course on aggregate. They are out. Lillestrøm with a big 5-2 win on the night, 6-2 on aggregate. They beat SJK Shkëndija. Meanwhile, Liquid Imps lost 1-0 at home in Gibraltar, of course against Tobol Tankanstanai. They go through with a 3-0 win. Istanbul Başakşehir with a 1-0 win over Maccabi Netanya. That was enough to add to their tally. 2-1, they go through. Maccabi Tel Aviv, they drew with Gżira, but they go through on aggregate. Macedonia GP, 4-0 win over CSK Sevilla, big win for them. In fact, that's the other way. It's the other way. So CSK Sevilla with a big win, 4-0 win for them. Nefki, of course, did beat Aris Limassol 3-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. Turn that bad boy around as well. Kick it on further. Newton Town, that's right. Or Newtown did lose to Spartak Trnava 6-2 on aggregate, 2-1 on the night. Meanwhile, Kozlar beat Ojusk 2-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. They go through. Mueller as well. Look at this bad boy. They are out. St. Patrick's Athletic go through 6-5. I think there's penalties in the end. Limjana 4-2 loss for Sepsi on the night, 3-3 on penalties. I think Sepsi are through anyway, regardless. Paide Limassol with a big 5-3 win over Ariat. I mean, a big surprise there. They go through. PAOK Salonika 1-1 on the night, 3-0 for me, 3-1 in the end. I think Slaviski Sofia through there. Pushkas did draw with Victoria Guatemalas, but that game was over in the first leg as well. 3-0 on aggregate. Radikanai, Gżira United, 3-1 win in the end for Gżira United, and they go through as well on aggregate and penalties and all that kind of stuff. Riga, 2-1 win over Zorzobnic, 5-1 on aggregate. They're comfortably through. Slavia Prague also comfortably through, 7-0 on the night, 11-0 on aggregate. Wow, wow, wee, wow. What a score line indeed. Sligo Rovers upset Scottish Premiership's Motherwell, 2-0 win on the night, 3-0 they go through. Triflori coming out of San Marino, something like that. 0-0 draw in the end over B36 Tórshavn. 1-0 it was for Tórshavn. They go through. The New Saints did draw with Vikingo Reykjavik, but of course they'll go through on aggregate with a 2-0 win as well. Viborg against Streda, 1-0 win on the night, 2-0 win for me. 2-0 it was on aggregate. They are through. Viking as well. They actually beat Spartak Prague and they go through with a bit of a surprise with of course the 2-1 aggregate scoreline in the end. Voskar Poltava against Solina, 2-0 win for them. They go through. Somebody goes through out of that one. And Morstar, 3-2 win overall on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. They go through. Just, of course, just a couple of games there in the Europa Conference League. Just one or two. But, of course, we're right back into it, of course, with the next round, the third qualifying round. Make sure you subscribe. And there's not as many, but there's still a fair bit. So, hopefully, we're going to go into the deep end and take a little look at these guys for the very first time. So, here we go. All right, then, kicking it off, it will be Viborg against B36 Tórshavn, taking place on August the 3rd. That's right, coming at you. These two sides never played each other, obviously, but of course, Viborg coming to just one defeat at the past 6 games, 83% form up against B36 Tórshavn, 58% form for them, unbeaten though in the last 3 games. Of course, B36 Tórshavn did draw with Triflori to get to the stage. Viborg with a big 1-0 win over Sudova Maribambo, of course. GU have odds on this game. 92 on is your Viborg. They are red hot favourites. 11-2 is your draw on this one. 10-1 is your long shots. That's B36 Tórshavn. So back, of course, the home side here, and I've gone with the shitty animation. I've gone with a cheeky 3-0 win for Viborg in the end. Next, of course, we have Riga coming up against Gil Vicente coming out of Portugal. Of course, this match also on the 3rd of August. Never played each other, these two sides. Riga, though, coming in winning 5 on the bounce. Of course, 83% form up against Vicente Barcelos with a 50% form, 1-2 lost to and drawn to. Of course, for Vicente with a big 1-1 draw against Tondela in a friendly prior to this game. Of course, Riga with a big 2-1 win over Rosenbeck, of course, to get to this stage. The odds right here, right now, Riga 10-3 for the victory, 5-2 is draw, 5-4 on issue for Gil Vicente. Going with a away win here, of course, to give themselves a bit of a bang, and hopefully kicking on forward to the next second leg. Of course, meanwhile, Wolfsberger coming out of Austria up against Gżira United, same day as well, 3rd of August. Of course, Wolfsberger, 50% form for them, 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. Gżira United, though, unbeaten in the last 6 games, picking up 4 wins and a couple of draws. Of course, Gżira with a big 3-1 win over Radaniki, of course, going through to the next stage. Wolfsberg already a couple of results in on the Austrian Premier Bundesliga, and back-to-back draws for them in the race already over in the top flight of Austria. Of course, coming out the odds here, 10-3 on is your Wolfsberg. Of course, 4-1 draw, 8-1 is your away win. Again, for the first legs only, you're going to go with a 2-0 win for Wolfsberger on this one. DAC Dunajská Streda, of course, my boys up against Stoja Bucharest, a bit of a zinger chicken dinner. Of course, played each other 0 times, but again, coming at you on the 3rd of August. DAC, of course, 92% form for them, winning 6 games, unbeaten in 6 games on the trot. We get 5 wins and a draw. As for Steaua Bucharest with a big, just 1 win and 4 for them, 58% form heading into this match. Bucharest dipping up a 4-2 win over Subotica with, of course, DAC Streda with a big 2 win over Viking. Of course, Streda in action against Slate Morachi, of course, today. Steaua Bucharest, the same deal up against University of Craiova, of course, in the domestic games, of course, for them. 8-5 is your Streda on this one, 2-9-4 draw. 31-20 is your away win. That is, of course, Bucharest. I'm back in a draw here. I do want DAC to do well, but of course, you can't rule out the juggernauts. That is, of course, Steaua Bucharest. Kicking off forward, though, we go Rīgas up against Hibernians coming out of Malta. That's right, of course. This match actually on the 4th of August. Rīgas, though, unbeaten in the last 5 games, 67% form for them. Up against the Hibernian side, of course, unbeaten in the last 3, picking up a couple of draws and just 1 win. Hibernians with the draw against Levada Tallinn, of course, to get to the stage. Rīgas with a big 2-0 win over Turkomus, of course, in match number 23 in the top flight for them. Moving forward on the odds for this one, then, shall we? We've got Rīgas 5-3 on. They are expected to win this game. 4-1 is your away win. That's Hibernians, and 3-1 is draw. For the first legs, of course, going to go with a 2-0 win for the hosts, of course, on this one. Coming at you, it is now top of the show. A blind is a bloody bat. Of course, these two sides never play each other. Of course, Cups coming at you, though, 83% forward for them. Unbeaten in the last 9 games. Of course, winning 4 of the last 6. Up against the Young Boys Burnside, of course, unbeaten in the last 12 games, picking up 4 wins on the spin, of course. Young Boys with a big 3-0 win over La Paja, and it's actually been back-to-back clean sheets. Of course, actually 4 clean sheets on the bounce, so they're looking very, very good. Cups, though, of course, are scoring 9 goals in the past couple of games, of course, across the competitions. Then look at the odds for this one: 5-1 is your Cups, 2-1 on is your Young Boys, and 3-1 is your draw here. 2-1, of course, for Young Boys Burn on the road to take it to the house. Spartak Trnava up against Raków Kraskova coming at you as well on the August the 4th. 58% form for Trnava, just 1 defeat past 5. Up against the Kraskova side, 100% form for them, winning 6 on the bounce. Now, of course, Kraskova, again, clean sheets galore here, 4 on the bounce for them, stretching all the way back to the 9th of July, and they're scoring about 10 goals without return. Trnava, though, with a big 2-1 win over Newtown to get to the stage. Of course, the odds for this one, of course, Spartak Trnava, 12-5 for the victory. Even Stevens is your Raków Kraskova, and 23-10 is your draw. I'm back in, of course, a 2-0 win for them on the road here to keep themselves moving nicely in this competition towards the money stages. Of course, Paide Linnameeskond up against RSC Anderlecht, of course, never played each other, but Paide came into this unbeaten in the last 6 games, pick up 3 wins and 3 draws, though. Anderlecht, though, just 1 defeat in the past 4 games, 58% form for them heading into this. Of course, they've already kicked it off in the Juniper League, and it's actually been a hot and cold start for Anderlecht, losing last time around against Cercle Bruges. Paide, though, with a big 4-3 win over Ariad Amina to, of course, get to this stage. Moving on, then, for the odds for this one, we have Paide, of course, 18-1 for the victory, 7-1 on is Anderlecht, and 11-2 is, of course, the draw on this one. You've got to back Anderlecht here, 3-0 win for them on the road, comfortably as well. Shakhter Soligorsk take on CFR Cluj as well on the same day. That's August the 4th. 58% form for Soligorsk coming at you, winning 3 in the bounce. Up against the CFR Cluj side, also 58% form, just 1 defeat in the past 5 games heading into this. Cluj, though, picking up a 4-2 win over Molde over in the top flight there. Of course, that was back in 30th of July. Soligorsk with a 2-1 win over Slusk, of course, in their top flight back on the 29th of July as well. Coming at you on the odds for this one: 3-1 is your Soligorsk, 20-17 on is your Cluj, and 2-5 is your Cluj, one of the juggernauts at this stage in this qualifying competition. 2-1 win for them to go through to at least the second round anyway. AIK up against KF Shkëndija 79, of course, played each other 0 times. 58% form for AIK coming out of Sweden. That's 3 wins out of the last 4 games, unbeaten in the last 5, just 1 defeat past 5. Meanwhile, Kisvárda haven't lost in the last 4, 67% form for them heading into this, including a 3-1 win over Valmiera to move to the stage. AIK with a big 2-0 win over Poltava, of course, moving them also into this part of the competition. Moving forward on this one, then, AIK stand 94 on for the victory, 7-2 is your 11-2 is your away win. That's, of course, KF Shkëndija 79, of course, going to go with 2-0 win for the hosts on this one. Lillestrøm against Antwerp, bit of a zinger chicken dinner on this one, of course, never played each other. Lillestrøm, though, just 1 defeat past 6, of course, heading into this on 12, of course, unbeaten in the last 6 with 92% form, of course, winning 5 out of the last 6 games. Lillestrøm with a big 5-2 win over Szczecin, of course, to get to the stage. Royal Antwerp with a big 2-0 win over Drita. They are in action against Zulte, of course, in the Juniper League today as of recording. With the odds for this one, then, 11-5 are your host, 23-10 is your 23-20 is your away win. They're backing, of course, the Belgians here, not me. I'm going with Norway all the way. 2-0 win for them to go, at least give it a tippy toe into the next round. Viking up against Sligo Rovers. Let's take a little look at this one. Again, taking place on August the 4th. What we got going on? Sligo Rovers, 75% form for them, just 1 defeat past 6. Up against Viking, just 1 defeat past 6. Also, 67% form for them. Sligo Rovers haven't won. Haven't lost in the last 4 away games, and they're coming to this on the back of a 2-0 win over Motherwell. Back-to-back clean sheets for them heading into this. Viking with a big 2-1 win, probably an upset as well, over Sparta Prague to get to the stage. Meanwhile, moving forward, the odds are 50-8 on As your Viking Red off here is 3-1 draw, and 19-4 is your away win. The Irish. I'm backing the hosts on this one to go the bloody distance, at least for the first stage as well. Kicking off forward, we have CSK Sofia up against St. Patrick's Athletic, of course, taking place in Sofia. Let's get into the deep end now. Played each other 0 times. CSK Sofia, though, unbeaten in the last 6 games, of course, winning 4 and drawing 2 up against St. Patrick's side. Just 1 defeated past 6 for them, 58% form heading into St. Patrick with a big 6-5 aggregate win or penalty win, whatever it is, over Muir and Murska to get to the stage. CSK Sofia with a big 4-0 win over Grudja Petrov. Also, 3 clean sheets on the bounce for them. Just 1 goal conceded over the last 6 games. That was against Lokomotiv Sofia in the domestic top flight. Of course, looking at the odds on this one, then shall we? CSK Sevilla 15-8 on for the victory, 3-1 draw, and 9-2 is your away win. Back, of course, the CSK Sevilla here, 2-1 for them to take it to the house. Apel Nicosia coming at you against FK Kazlavar. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, over in Cyprus, if I can find the bad boy. All right, these two sides played each other 0 times. Of course, Nicosia, though, coming to just 1 defeat at the past 6 games, because Kazla side just 1 win in 6 for them, of course, heading into this. They did beat Osijek, of course, to get to the stage with a big 2-0 win, turning around the other leg there when, of course, they lost. Pau Nicosia with a big 2-0 win over Botev Plondiv, and they come into on back-to-back clean sheets as well. Looking at the odds for this one, then, shall we? We've got 3-1 on is your Nicosia, of course, 50-2 is your Kazlavar, and 50-4 is your draw. Back, and of course, the host here with a win, 1 win for them to get a little tippy-toe into the next round. Molde coming at you out of Norway up against Kisvárda, scheduled to take place on August the 4th. Of course, Molde winning 5 of the bouts, of course. Kisvárda just 1 defeat at the past 6, 75% form compared to Molde's 92. And Molde haven't lost in the last 17 games and haven't lost in any of the last 8 home matches as well. Kisvárda, though, haven't lost in any of the last 6 away. So what have we got going on here? Kisvárda with a big 1-0 win over Kariat, back-to-back clean sheets for them. Molde with, of course, a win over Augsburg to get to this stage as well. Moving forward, we have 5-2 on is your Molde, 7-2 is draw, 11-2 is your Kisvárda here. 3-1 in the end. Molde taking it to the house. Nefki Baku up against Rapid Vienna. A bit of a zinger over in Baku, kicking us off this week for 4th of August. Of course, Baku, though, just 1 win and 5 for them up against the Rapid Vienna side, who haven't lost in the last 9 games. 83% form for them heading into this. Rapid Vienna with a big 2-1 win over Lecce Gdansk. Meanwhile, Baku with a big 3-0 win over Arias Limassol, turning around that 2-goal deficit in the first legs. The odds on this one, 12-5 is your Baku, 21-20 is your Rapid Vienna, and 12-5 is your draw here. Back in the draw, so draw 2-2 in the end. Cannot separate the two sides on the first leg. Moving on to the back end of the draw here, Maccabi Tel Aviv going to take on Arias Salonika. Of course, hopefully I can find that one. They're always a little tricky to find. There we go. Coming out of Israel, the first game as well on August the 4th. 58% form for Maccabi Tel Aviv, winning just 1 defeat past 4 for them. Up against the Arias side have actually won 4 in the spin. 83% form for them. Of course, Arias did beat Gurma. Of course, what was the score on an aggregate? 7-2 in the end. Maccabi Tel Aviv with a big 0-0 draw against Gżira, back-to-back clean sheets for them heading into this match. Looking at the odds on this one, 6-5 is your Tel Aviv, of course, 23-10 is short, 11-5 though is your Arias Salonika. Gonna go with a cheeky 2-0 win for Maccabi Tel Aviv in the end. Meanwhile, Slavia Prague coming at you. Where are you, Slavia Prague? Up against Panathinaikos, bit of a zinger as well on this one. Coming at you as well on the 4th of August. Slavia Prague, unbeaten in the last 5, 75% form for them. Of course, winning 4 in the bounce. Up against the Panathinaikos side, of course, unbeaten in the last 6 games. Of course, Panathinaikos did beat Voldam in a friendly 2-1, of course, back in the day. Meanwhile, Slavia Prague with a big 7-0 win over St. Joseph's. 1, 2, 3 clean sheets on the back, scoring an absolute bucket load of goals. 14, 18, 19 goals over the last 4 games. Count them up, boys. Count them up. Actually, they actually played Panathinaikos rivals Olympiakos in a friendly back in the end of June. Moving forward then, shall we, on this one? Where are you? Slavia Prague 4-3 on for the victory, 5-2 draw. 10-3 though is your Panathinaikos. I've gone with a 3-2 goal fest as well on this one to keep us excited moving forward. Zoria up against Universal Krakowa, of course, coming at you on the August the 4th. Play each other 0 times. Zora though, without a win in 4 now, 50% form for them. 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2. Up against Universal Krakowa, unbeaten in the last 9 games, of course. However, drawing 4 of the last 5. 67% form for them heading into this. They did beat Viloslavskogoda to get to the stage, 3-0 win for them. Meanwhile, Luganska with a big loss to Legia Warsaw in a friendly back, of course, in the middle of June. Moving forward on this one then, shall we? Zora, of course, 13-8 for the victory, 31-20 is your University Krakowa, and of course 11-5 is your draw. I'm going with a 2-1 win for the away side here to give us a bit of a surprise coming at you from the away side. Balkany up against KÍ Klaksvík, of course, on August the 4th as well. 58% form for Balkany, just 1 defeat past 4 for them. up against Klaksvík side, a 1 defeat past 6 for them, 75% form, heading into this. Klaksvík with a big 1 win over Soligorsk, of course, back-to-back clean sheets for them, up against the Bakana side, who've scored 10 goals without return as they smash past La Florienta, of course, in the previous leg. Looking at the odds on this one then, shall we? Bakana 23-20 for the victory, 11-5 is your Klaksvík, and 23-10 is your draw. 2-0 win for Bakana on in this one. So moving on, we've got FC Vaduz up against Konyaspor. Let's take a look at this badger then, shall we? Next up, of course, we have Vaduz up against Konyaspor as well on August the 4th. Vaduz coming into unbeaten in the last 6 games, 67% form up against Konyaspor side, who have also picked up 3 wins in the last 4 games, 58% form for them heading into this. They of course, back-to-back clean sheets for Konyaspor after taking out B36 Borisov. Meanwhile, Vaduz with a big 1-1 draw against Koper, of course, and they've been draw specialists over the past couple of games, both domestically and in the European competition. The odds on this one then, shall we? 5-1 is your Vaduz, 65 is your draw, 2-1 is your away win. That's Konyaspor. That's the way I've gone with a 2-0 win for them as well. Lugano coming out of Switzerland up against Belshava coming out of Israel. Hopefully this badger will load. It's thinking about it. Of course, Lugano up against Hapoel Belshava. Here we go. As well, August the 4th. Lugano, though, just 1 win in 5 for them, coming out just 33% form over the last 6. Up against the Belshava side, who picked up 3 wins on about 67% form for them as well. However, these two sides have played each other twice back in 2017, and it was in the Europa League Group G way back when. Of course, both sides picked up a victory over each other, and the last time they played each other in Lugano was a 1-0 win for Lugano way back in November 2017. Meanwhile, of course, they did play each other in Israel. It was a 2-1 win for Belshava back in, of course, September 2017. Moving forward, of course, Belshava with a big 1-0 win over Dynamo Minsk, and Lugano with, of course, a 2-1 loss to Grasshoppers, of course, in the top flight in Switzerland as well. The odds on this one then, shall we? Got Lugano, of course, 4-3 on for the victory, 35 is your, and 65 is your Hapoel Belshava here. I've gone with Lugano, but only just 2-1 win for them in the first leg, of course, which will make a very, very spicy second leg. Moving forward, Sepsi taking on Dusgarden coming out of Sweden. That's right. These two sides have played each other 0 times. Sepsi, though, unbeaten in the last 9 games, or at least have won the last 9 games at home. Unbeaten in the last 6, 83% form for them. Up against the Dusgarden side, who've also picked up 9 games unbeaten as well, and have also won 6 in the last 100% form. Two sides in incredible form heading into this. Dusgarden with a big 2-0 win over Rijeka to get to the stage. Of course, Sepsi with a big 4-2 win over Olympic Lejana. A bit of an upset, perhaps, on that one. Looking forward on the odds on this one then, shall we? I've lost it. What are we looking at? We are looking at Sepsi. It's 31-20 for the host here, 31-20 for the away side, 11-5 is sure. Could go either way here. Gone with the draw myself. I cannot separate the two sides. Can you? Let me know down below. Alright, so Levski Sevilla taking on Spartans, of course, coming at you on August the 4th as well. Played each other 0 times. Levski Sevilla, though, 75% form for them. Just one defeat of the past 6 games, of course. Up against Spartans, also 1 defeat of the past 6 games. Heading into Levski Sevilla with a big draw against PAOK to get to the stage. Of course, Spartans with a big 1 win over Veski Mallstar. The odds, I don't really have odds. I can't really see what I can't even see it on there. I had to dig deep to see the stats on this. So I'm going to go with my gut here. My gut says a 2-0 win for Levski Sevilla to beat Heimer and Spartans in the end. Next, of course, my boys coming out of the Dutchland is FC Twente. They're going to be taking on, of course, FK Klaksvík. So, of course, confusion, always confusion here with these pissing shitload of games. It's actually the other way around. So, FK Klaksvík are the home side, but I'm going to give it to you straight anyway. Of course, 83% form for Klaksvík, just 1 defeat for them, up against a 100% form FC Twente, who looked good last season and were a little bit unlucky not to finish higher in the table. Of course, 100% form for them, unbeaten in the last 6 games, picking up 6 wins on the bounce, including a 4 win over Bologna, of course, coming out of Switzerland. Klaksvík with a big 4 win over Union Luxembourg, and of course, back-to-back clean sheets for them heading into this. I do have odds on this one though, but it's backwards. 9-4 on it, or 9-4 is your Klaksvík, 11-10 is your Twente, and 12-5 is your. I'm backing, of course, Twente win either way. And again, these are just for fun, because there's too fucking many. Moving forward, we are brought on by. Let's get into this one then, shall we? They're going to be taking on Basel. Probably the game of the round here. Broadmeek, of course, coming out of Denmark. Basel coming out of Switzerland. Played each other never. Of course, Broadmeek, though, 58% form, just 1 defeat past 6. Up against the Basel side, who haven't lost in the last 11 games. 75% form, winning 3 and drawing 3 over the last 6, though. Basel, though, did draw with Crusaders heading into this. Back-to-back draws for them. Of course, Broadmeek with a big 4-0 win over Pogdung Sechen, of course. But they did lose to Nordsjælland in the domestic top flight. The odds on this one then, 31-20 is your host, 23-10 is your, 31-20 also your way. And again, the bookies can't call it. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw again, just like the bookies. I can't call it either. What do you think down below? Ferencváros, of course, coming at you up against Petrocub. Oh, it's not actually Ferencváros, it's Ferencváros as well. Never played each other, these two sides. Ferencváros, though, 67% form for them, winning 3 and losing 2 over the last 6. Up against, of course, Petrocub side, who haven't lost in the last 9 games, picking up 4 wins of the last 6. Petrocub with a big 4 win over Laci, of course, Ferencváros with a big 2-1 loss to But they got through on the end on this one. Let's take a look at the odds for this one then, shall we? Where are you? 11-4 on is your Fenerbahçe, 7-2 is your draw, and 13-2 is your away win. 2-1 win for me for Fenerbahçe to take it to the house in the end. Viking Reykjavik against Lech Poznan coming out of Poland, that's right. Iceland, Poland locking horns as well. 75% fall for Viking Reykjavik, of course winning 3 and drawing 3 over the last 6. Up against the Lech Poznan side, just 1 win and 5 for them, 42% form. They look a little bit wobbly, a little bit vulnerable. They did draw with Dunajská to get to the stage. 5-0 was of course the first leg. Even Stevens was your second leg. Let's take a little look at the odds then. I've just lost it. Viking Reykjavik, of course, 50-4 for the victory, 20-13 on Lech Poznan, and 40-5 is 2-1 in the end for Lech Poznan, but tight in the end. Bredovic against Istanbul Başakşehir coming out of Turkey, of course, one of the juggernauts at this stage. Bredovic, of course, just 1 defeat past 6 for them, 75% form up against the Başakşehir side, who haven't lost in the last 10 games, pick up 3 wins and 3 draws over the last 6, 75% form for them. Of course, Başakşehir with a big one over Netanya, of course, to seal the deal. Bredovic with a big 2-1 loss to Budapest, Bognognia, of course, but they got through in the end. Odds on this one then, shall we? Which way are the bookies going? Budapest, Bognognia, not in it. 90-4 is your Bredovic, 2-1 on is your Istanbul Başakşehir, and 3-1 is your draw. 2-1 win for me on the road for matey boys from Turkey. Shrinski Mostar, Kobanaccia, up against Tobol Kostanya. They actually played each other a couple of times, but heading into this, Mostar just 58% form, winning 2 and losing 2 of the last 4 up against the Tobol side, who've won 3, lost 3 over the last 6. Of course, like I said, they have played each other a couple of times, back-to-back wins for Shrinski Mostar, including a 2-1 win last time I played each other in Shrinski Mostar's venue there. That was back in July 2010 in the Europa League qualification phase. Mostar with a big 3-2 win over Tirana. Of course, Tobol with a big 1-0 win over Lincoln Red Imps. Probably one-way traffic on this one. 2019 on for Mostar, 5-2 is your 5-2 is your away win. Going to go with a 0-0 draw. Not too sure which way I'm going to go on that one to, of course, seal the end. Another zinger here. Hajduk Split coming at you against Guadamares. That's right, 50% form for Hajduk Split. 1-2 lost and drawn 2 over the last 6. Guadamares are unbeaten in the last 6, picking up a couple of draws. Actually, 2 wins and 4 draws over the last 6. Guadamares with a big 0-0 draw against Puskás Akadémia, but of course they got through in the end. 3 clean sheets on the spin for them. Hajduk Split though, back-to-back clean sheets for them as they kick off the top flight in Croatia with, of course, a couple of wins as well. Tight this game. 31-20 is your Hajduk Split. 31-20 is your Guadamares. 23-10 is your draw. Also calling it a draw on this one. And then wrapping up, it is Dundee United up against AZ Alkmaar coming at you from the Eredivisie. And Dundee United, of course, 50% form for them. 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. Up against AZ Alkmaar side, winning 4 on the bounce. These two sides have played each other. There was a friendly way back in July 2015. It was a 3-1 for AZ Alkmaar way back when. Alkmaar with a big 4-0 win over Tuzla City. 1, 2, 3 clean sheets, 4 clean sheets on the bounce heading into this, but a couple of those games were friendlies. Dundee United with a big 1-1 draw against Kilmarnock to open it up. Their Scottish domestic top flight there. The odds here, 4-1 is Dundee United, 23-20 is your away win, and 11-4 is your draw here. 3-1 in the end for AZ Alkmaar to take it to the house. Another absolute monster fest here. Make sure you subscribe. These videos are bitches, absolute bitches. So many games to talk about, so little time to do it. But that, my friends, is what I've got for you. Be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check the links down below, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and also we're on Patreon if you want to support the channel in another way. But anyway, we'll be back for, of course, the next legs, the second legs, which all gets very, very complicated. But then moving forward, we'll hopefully get to the group stages. But until then, we're done right now.